Hello, hello. So now we are discussing different units of health psychology. So last class we have discussed the various aspects of health behavior and the introduction or definitions of health psychology. And there are various models of health psychology are also discussed. The factors that influence the health. So those things, different factors are there, biological factors, social factors, social factors, cultural factors, etc. So the factors that influence health behavior were discussed. So now there are other important things relating to health psychology that the students should understand. They should know the theories of health beliefs. This is also an important topic, unit of health psychology. So there are different theories. Different health psychologists have proposed different theories. What type of health beliefs you have? What is the belief system? What is the belief we have about the health? About the our beliefs about the ill health or illness or diseases? Different theories have been proposed by different uh, health psychologists. Uh, for, uh, for example, the theories like attribution theory, what type of attributions we make about the health or diseases. And another one is locus of control, uh, the factors that influence the health and where the control, whether internally controlled or externally controlled, where lies the control. And another one is unrealistic optimism. How this unrealistic optimism influence the health behavior and also the beliefs about the health and the diseases. So the other one, earlier one that I told you, the health locus of control. So whether the health or ill health is influenced by the internal factors of the person or external factors of the person. Where that refers to the locus of control, where exactly lies the control of the health or ill health, and the stages of changes. This is also an important model or theory. The psychologists have proposed the different stages that are involved in the process of changing behavior from positive to negative, ill health behavior or neutral behavior to healthy behavior. So several stages are involved or steps are involved. Those things are discussed as part of stages of changes model or theory. And the first one is health belief model. So it is very earlier model, a very old model, but it has got important influence on the health psychology and also the belief system. It is also important model as far as health psychology is concerned, though it is formulated much longer, much earlier. So the thing is, health belief model, it is properly known as HBM. HBM. H stands for health, B stands for belief, M stands for model. That is health belief model. So the here is why it involves different concepts. This theory or this model has important factors or important concepts. The concepts that are involved uh, that are covered in the health belief model are One concept or one factor is perceived susceptibility, and second factor is perceived severity. Third one is perceived benefits, and fourth is perceived barriers, and the fifth is due to action, and the sixth is self-efficacy. These are the factors that are involved in the health belief model. So this so now we'll discuss each factor that is involved in the health belief model. See this health belief model. This explains why people practice health behavior, what beliefs they have in practicing health behavior and not practicing the health behavior. So this model it makes an attempt to understand why people practice health behavior, or why people don't practice health behavior. What factors influence whether not for practicing or practicing the health behavior. In sum, the two things are there here. One is uh, when a person adopts healthy behavior, when a person practice healthy behavior, it depends on two important factors. That is, one is perceived personal threat, perceived health threat. That is one thing. If the people think that is really a threat to his health, if the perceive people perceive that disease is a dangerous one, that then the people are likely to practice healthy behaviors. And the person believes that particular health practice will be effective in reducing the health threat. That means when a person practice healthy behavior, the point here is if the person believes that the practice like exercise, walking, etc., that really reduce the threat, that really solves the problem of ill health or disease, if that is really helpful to the to control control or to treat or cure the disease. If they believes that this practice will definitely treat the disease or it will control the disease. If they have that belief, then they are more likely to practice health behavior. So here there are two factors here. One thing is the individual must believe that there is a threat to his health. Then the individual must believe or feel or think that the disease is very dangerous. It is very serious. So the threats, that health threats, if he feels or believes that is really a threat to his health, then the person is more likely to practice healthy behaviors. That is one thing. Another thing is, if a particular, say for a curing any disease or to avoid certain diseases, the people have to follow certain practices, certain healthy behaviors. There may be many practices are suggested by the medical health professionals, So, which practice out of many, which practice that a person can take up or follow or adopt? If a person really believes that a particular health practice is really helpful to control the disease or to treat the disease or to prevent the disease, then person is likely to practice that particular behavior. That means he must have that belief. Yes, this practice will definitely be useful. In that situation, so individuals are more likely to practice the healthy behaviors. There is one type of thing. The other thing, the health belief model. Now we are coming back to the health belief model. Health belief model, as I said, there are six factors for the that we will discuss. What do you mean by each each factor? For example, there is a perceived susceptibility. There is one factor that is covered or that is involved in health belief model. Why the belief model? I already told you. This model tries to understand why people undertake or practice healthy behaviors or why people do not practice healthy behaviors. So one thing is susceptibility, that is perceived susceptibility, that is the likelihood of getting a disease or a condition. For example, diabetes is a one health problem, issue. If he believes that he is likely to get this particular disease or illness, then he is likely to practice the health behaviors or he is likely to follow certain behaviors that control or avoid or reduce the influence of the disease. That means he must have that so the belief that is likely to get that particular disease. Then perceived severity, seriousness of the disease. When a person undertake or practice healthy behaviors, here the thing is seriousness of contracting an illness or leaving it uh, untreated. So here, seriousness of the disease is important. How serious is the disease? In that, to evaluate the seriousness of the disease, what the individual do, consciously or unconsciously. Some process will go on in his mind and they evaluate the seriousness of the disease. Either it can be blood pressure or it can be diabetes or it can be any infection or like COVID or any other disease. He will evaluate the seriousness of the disease in terms of medical consequences and social consequences. What would be the medical consequences if a particular if he contracts, if he gets a particular disease, and what would be the social consequences? Social consequences relating to the family, friends, and society. So, what would be the consequences in case he gets that disease? In case he contracts that particular infection or whatever it is. So he evaluates the seriousness of the disease. or the health threat, how serious it is. If he feels that the threat is really a serious one, even if he gets that disease, it will affect his health and the family, and it involves many expenses, or it will have a serious consequences medically and socially. If he believes that is a very serious one, then that person is likely to follow or practice healthy behaviors. And the other one is benefits, the perceived benefits. What are these perceived benefits? If the particular disease, either it is blood pressure or diabetes or any other infection or any disease, if that is controlled, if that is reduced, what type of benefits he is going to get? If the particular disease is controlled, how much benefit he is going to get? Or if he undertakes a particular healthy behavior, or if he undertakes any healthy practice, if he adopts any healthy behavior, what type of benefits is that person is going to get? If the person feels there are more benefits if the disease is controlled, or that disease is reduced, the seriousness of the disease is controlled. So if he is satisfied with the benefits, then the chances of taking up the treatment or practicing the healthy behaviors will be high. And barriers, perceived barriers. If you want to practice a particular healthy behavior, what type of barriers are there? What type of problems are there? In case the adoption of any healthy practice involves problems, difficulties, then they're treated as barriers, and the chances of not adopting that practice will be high. In case that person feels that barriers are more, problems are more, difficulties are more, then chances will be low. In case he feels that there are no much barriers, there are no much problems, there are no much difficulties, then chances of adoption of healthy practice will be high. Then the person will be ready to take up the treatment, to undergo the treatment as suggested by the doctor. Then self-efficacy. See, it is self-belief, the confidence, whether he can successfully follow the treatment or this healthy practices. That is self-efficacy. So this concept was actually promoted by the Bandura as part of social learning theory. He's a great social psychologist. He coined the concept of self-efficacy, is self-belief, self, the confidence, self-confidence, or his ability, the perception about his abilities to follow, to adopt a certain healthy practices or to undergo the treatment. So that is also most important. If the person feels I don't have abilities, I cannot do it. If they think that he cannot do it, then chances of adopting healthy practice will be low. On the conversely, if the individual feels, yes, I can do it, I have that ability, I have that confidence, I can practice, I can successfully undergo this treatment as suggested by the doctor, then the chances of practicing will be high. That means Self-efficacy is also an important factor. As I told you, this is the one of the important concepts that was developed or coined by the social psychologist by Albert Bandura. Uh, he developed a social learning theory. So these are the now we will discuss. Sorry, which the important factors that are involved in SBM. SBM. What is it, SBM? SBM is nothing but health belief model. It is popularly known as HBM, health belief model. Health belief model is nothing but SBM. So here, as I told you earlier, important factors of this, six factors of this. Then the one is, as I said, susceptibility. It refers to belief about the likelihood of getting a disease. Please understand the belief about the likelihood of getting a disease. That is the most important. Or for example, a person must believe that there is a possibility of getting diabetes. If they feel that there is a possibility of getting a diabetes, then they will undergo the suggestions given by the medical or health professionals. For example, a doctor suggested to take up the different types of blood tests to know whether the person has the diabetes or not. Uh, uh, so here, if a person feels you will evaluate, he himself evaluates, and he believes that likelihood of getting a disease, if he feels, no, I don't get this disease, he has believed that my parents are not diabetics, my mother is not diabetic, and I'm a healthy person, there is no chance of getting any diabetes or high blood pressure or blood pressure. If he feels that he is healthy, that he has no serious disease, that he is not going to get any type of disease or particularly this type of diabetes. So even if he has that belief, what will happen? What is the result of it? The result is the suggestion given by the health professionals will not be followed by that individual because he feels that there is no chance of getting diabetes. There is no chance of getting high blood pressure or BP. So if he has that type of belief, then chances of following the suggestions or prescription given by the doctor or health professional will be low. This is called perceived susceptibility, whether he is susceptible to that or whether he is vulnerable to that disease or not. This is one factor. Then I already told you the seriousness of contracting the illness or seriousness of the diabetes. Even in case he has diabetes, what will happen? Even if he has a blood pressure, what will happen? Then if he thinks that is very serious one, even the diabetes, which level is it moderate or below average or above average or average like that, different levels will be there. If he feels that the seriousness, there is no seriousness in the disease, nothing will happen to me. Even if it is disease is there is no problem that I can control. There will not be much problem to me. That means if he feels that is a very serious, that is highly serious, then the chances of following the health professionals' advices or prescription will be high. So this seriousness, as I told you, is evaluated in two ways. The person, any individual who is advised certain healthy practices, or well, the doctor has advised him to practice certain health practices or to undergo different tests, whether it is a cancer test or the diabetes test or whatever, different tests, the heart related tests. Many tests will be there, but there may be costly, whatever it is. So, chances of undergoing different treatments or diagnostic treatment, the tests, it depends on the severity of the problem. It is, as I said, in two ways. One is social consequences. In case he has diabetes, what would be the social consequences? Social consequences with regard to the family. What is the impact of my disease on the family? Maybe mother or father, wife, father, or wife, the husband, or children, etc. So, what is the impact of my disease on family members? If he thinks, if a person, individuals evaluates that it has a serious social consequences, that is, my family members will have a lot of impact on them. They will also suffer because of my disease. And what will the impact in the working situation? In the working situation, if it has a particular infection, well, what would be the problem? What would be the situation in the office, in the working situation? So you evaluate evaluates the impact of that disease on the work in the office, and also the impact of this disease in social relations, maintain social relations with the friends and colleagues, etc. So you evaluate in terms of the impact of my disease. That means impact of individual's disease on colleagues, friends, and family members. If they think it will have an adverse impact on the family and also in the office, then the chances of following the medical advice or medical treatment will be high. And you will also evaluate in terms of medical or clinical assets, what will happen? What type of damage would occur to the body? Will there be any pain? What is the cost involved? The different types of medical problems. If a person has diabetes, what type of medical problems associated with diabetes will be there? That means if the person has diabetes, this is likely to affect the entire health of the person. That means it has many repercussions on other diseases. It has impact on other diseases. So the evaluates in terms of medical, whether for example, the cost involved in it and effect of this particular disease on the entire body of the person, and is there any pain in case that he is going will have a lot of pain. So that will also make them to avoid that disease in case that is going to result in heavy pain. So then that means that is a medical consequence. So what you want to understand here is a patient, when a person is like to follow the advice given by the uh, doctor or health professional to follow a particular treatment protocol or to follow certain healthy practices or lifestyle. So he evaluates in terms of medical and social consequences. So on the basis of this, he will come to a conclusion about the seriousness of disease. In case the person feels that it is not a severe, serious one, it is not a serious disease, it has no much impact on my family, it has no impact on my body, then things will be different. If the person believes that it will have a lot of impact on my body and the family, then the chances of following the treatment as given by the doctor will be high. Then the perceived benefits, I told you already. The perceived benefits, the what type of benefits you will have. And also uh, the barriers. The barriers here is what is the negative aspects of following a particular health action. For example, a doctor advises the person to go for walking or to have to do exercise, etc. So here, what would be the negative impact or negative aspect of that healthy practice, healthy behavior? If he feels that there are no negative aspects or there are no barriers, then you will be more likely to follow the recommended behavior practices. So that means the individual weighs the actions, expected benefits with perceived barriers. See, barriers here means, as I told you, improvement. It refers to problems in undertaking the recommended behavior. Problems involved, difficulties involved in undertaking the recommended behavior, recommended by the health professional or a doctor. So the problems involved, difficulties involved, he will undertake. If he feels that person feels there are no problems, there are no much problems, there are no much difficulties, then the chances of practicing that one will be high. How much time, for example, that practice, a particular practice, as advised by the doctor or health professional, it takes much time, say hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, like that. If he feels that that one person has to spend much time on following that one healthy behavior, so that means time consumption. For example, one example, it it requires much time. It requires a lot of time, and it also lots of it is very strenuous job. If he feels it is a strenuous job, it is a tiresome job, then the person will not undertake that type of healthy behavior. Though that has that particular recommended behavior by the doctor has many positive aspects, he examines in terms of negative aspects of the behavior. What are the consequences of following the healthy behavior, healthy practices? What would be the consequences? He will evaluate negative one, positive one on one side and negative one on the other side. If the negatives are more and the positives are low, then the chances of following the treatment as advised by the doctor will be low. That means a person evaluates the particular healthy behavior or any practice as given by the doctor, evaluates positive in terms of positive and also negative, for the benefits and the losses, costs involved, etc. So the other one is acute action. Here is a very early formula. This is a readiness to take an action would only be potentiated by other factors, particularly by the cues that instigate the action. For example, bodily event and environmental events. And self-efficacy, I already told you, the person estimates that a given behavior will lead to certain outcomes and expectation. Okay. So this is about a healthy model. And there is another one that is attribution theory. The attribution theory is also, it is also drawn, this concept is drawn from health social psychology. This is attribution, and many psychologists, social psychologists are involved in developing the theory of attribution. For example, Haider and Kelly, like that, a number of people are there. See the Kelly, suppose he has also developed a beautiful theory about the attribution, how people attribute theory, attribute the actions or reasons to the behavior. And similarly, Haider is also a popular social psychologist. He also developed one theory relating to the attribution. So he said, according to either, there are two types of, this is the attribution, two types of attribution, internal attribution and external attribution. Internal factors relate to the self, and external factors relate to the, say, environmental, outside the person and inside the person. Inside the person, that means internal factors refers to personality of the person, and external factor relates to the outside the person, or situational factors, or environmental factors. So how the persons make attributions. So it refers to the causes of behavior. A particular person has behaved in a particular way. If a person asks, why you have behaved like that? Why you have behaved like that? So some people say attribute because of the social factors, because of the social factors, I behaved like that. That means it refers to the uh, external factors, whereas internal factors, that is internal factors, that is also called a dispositional attribution. There are two terms are there: dispositional attribution, situational attribution. I told you earlier, internal attribution, external attribution. The two terms are there in the attribution theory, as given by the Haider, a social psychologist. Two terms are there: internal attribution and external attribution. And equal terms for these two are dispositional attribution, that is internal attribution. It refers to the individual factors, personality factors, and other one, situational factors or external factors are same, situational or external factors. For example, take the fiber the personal attribution. Then example here is personal attribution, dispositional attribution. It refers to internal factors. Here is, for example, I have cancer because I cannot control myself to stop smoking. He has a cancer, and there is the cause for the disease. For cause for the disease, he is sick because I am a smoker, chain smoker. I have developed the disease. It is the internal disposition, internal factors, or internal attribution. He is attributing the factor that is inside, that relates to him as a person, that relates to the individual as a person. That is internal attribution. That is, I give you an example, clear example. A person has a cancer. So a person says, I had cancer because I am a chain smoker. He is accepting. He is the cause for the disease. Who is the cause? Person is the cause. His health, his smoking habits is the cause for his disease. It is internal disposition and situational attribution or external attribution. A person will not accept that disease is because of his habits. He will attribute the cause to other factors outside him. For example, I have cancer because my father also has a cancer. So this person is a chain smoker. One person who is a chain smoker is accepting that he is responsible for the disease, whereas the other person who is also a chain smoker, is a smoker, he says the reason, cause for the disease is hereditary because of parents. I got this. Similarly, many people will say diabetes. The people have all negative. They have different health. They don't practice healthy practices. For example, so if a young person, if you ask a person, how is at this young age you have got this diabetes, the that person is more likely to say because it is hereditary. My parents, my mother, my father has diabetes, is a diabetic, so I am also a diabetic. But you will not accept what is your lifestyle, what type of practices he is following, whether he is whether he is doing exercise or eating proper diet, giving those things you will not say. Though he has all bad habits, instead of telling that these bad habits are the responsible for his disease, he will say because the parents have developed this disease. So this type of tendency or there is external disposition, sorry, situational attribution and uh, personal distribution, personal attribution. When a person accepts that he is responsible for the disease, that is personal attribution. That means assigning the reason assigning the cause or the reason for the disease. And in the external attribution or situational distribution, the attribution is he is attributing the cause for his disease to other factors, outside factors like parents or environmental factors, etc. And similarly, there is under theory, health locus of control. So locus of control is also beautiful theory that it is there in social psychology and personality. And Rorty is an important psychologist. He developed the theory of locus of control theory, locus of control. This is here also, it has locus of control, two factors out there, internally controlled, externally controlled, internally controlled and externally controlled. So internally controlled people is, they have full belief about his capacities, about his abilities. So he says, I can do it. I can do it. I can successfully perform. I can successfully execute this particular practice. That is the internally controlled and externally controlled. They depend on external factors. It is different from the see earlier we have discussed internal attribution and external attribution. These two are quite different. That is attribution there is assigning the reason to a particular action, to a particular behavior. We assign the cause to a particular behavior. That is attribution. We attribute the causes to a particular behavior. Attribution of causes to the behavior. That is, here this it is different. Here this is This locus of control, internally controlled and externally controlled. The thing is, internally controlled people, they believe their capacities, they believe their abilities, and they think that he is responsible for the things he has done. And externally controlled people, the opposite. You see, God is there, fate is there. So these things happen as fate decided, as God decided. So we did not do like this. We did not practice only. For example, the doctor says you have to follow this type of practice, healthy practices, or you have to follow this type of healthy lifestyle, or you have to undergo this surgery or treatment. You have to take up this type of treatment. Uh, if the person is in that situation, some people may not practice all these things, and the people may say, what they say, God is there, God is there. This is what the destiny decided, and that will happen. If the God decides, that will happen. Why should I do all these things? The fate is there. So we will not do much. Well, what is going to happen will happen. So that means we will not do much. So that means they depend on the fate, the destiny. They depend on the God and etc. Their belief system is like that. What is going to happen will happen, and the God is there. It is all everything is decided. Everything is decided that will happen. That will happen, and it is all fate. My fate is like that will happen. So why should I practice all this type of healthy behaviors? So it's not necessary. So that type of thinking will be there. So if a person accepts for his success, for his life, he is responsible, then he is more likely to adopt the healthy practices. He is more likely to take up the treatment as advised by the doctor. And the person, they feel they rely on the fate. Fate is there. It will happen as per the fate. It will happen as per the destiny. Then the chances of practicing the healthy behavior will be low. Even the main focus or the alcoholics will also be telling, some people will tell like that. I see many healthy people are there, many smokers are there, many alcoholics are there, they live long, they have no problems. And so the type of example they cite. So this all, everything is about the fate. If God is there, God will take care of me. That type of thinking or belief will be there. So if they build that type of belief is there, then chances of practicing the healthy behaviors or following the treatment as given the advice as given by the doctor will be low. So another thing is unrealistic optimism. So this is quite opposite to the pessimists. They're unrealistic optimists. Some people are there, unrealistic optimists. Optimism is favorable. Optimism is acceptable. That can be recommended. One should have be optimist. One should be optimist. But the problem here is unrealistic, the optimism. That is a problem. Optimism as such is not a problem. But if you have too much optimism, that is unrealistic, quite unrealistic. That that is linked to the healthy behaviors, the practice of healthy lifestyle or practice of health behaviors, or the undergoing various a test or as advised by the doctor. You see, so Winston is a psychologist, very popular psychologist who has done much research. There is Winston. He has done much research on unrealistic optimism in relation to health. How this unrealistic optimism affects the health of the people, how it influences health condition of the people. That is one thing. So he said, inaccurate perceptions of the risk and susceptibility, their unrealistic optimism, unhealthy behavior, practice of unhealthy behavior. I repeat, practice of unhealthy behavior is because of unrealistic optimism. For example, a person smokes many cigarettes. He thinks nothing will happen to me. Nothing will happen to me. So he cites various reasons. So he is quite unrealistic optimism. So that people will not practice the healthy behaviors. Uh, so here, just to give an example before you close it. One study, simple study was made. So two person is there, and once the participants were asked, people are there, the participants were asked to list the problems. What healthy health problems do you have? For example, diabetes, BP, cancer, etc., etc., etc. They cited many health problems. They have done health issues like diabetes, BP, etc. So that list is there. Then in the second phase, what this researcher has done is he asked the other person. So these are the health problems of these 10 people. So compared to that group which has health problems, health issues, you tell us what are the chances of you having a health problem? Did you get the point? So one team of people they were asked to cite to say the health issues they have. They have listed the health problems. That is over. And the other persons were asked to say the chances of having that problem, that health issue for you. Many people said there are no chances of having that type of problem to me, that type of diabetes, type of BP, that type of cancer, etc., etc. I will not get any such disease. I'm quite healthy. I'm quite healthy. I will not get that type of disease. That means this is called as unrealistic optimism. The person whom the psycho researcher asked the question is more or less similar to that age. There are same gender is same, age group is same. Both groups, gender is same, age group is same. So one group cited the problems they have, and another group they asked the question, the chances of having that type of disease. So another group said, no, we will not. Some people said, not all, some participants, some subjects said that there are no chances of getting that type of disease. There is no scope for me to have that type of disease, either diabetes or etc. That means this is called as unrealistic optimism. So we'll discuss tomorrow the other topics of health psychology.